This is USVI News, your Virgin Islands connection.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us for USVI News. I'm Emily Matson. As we've been reporting, COVID cases are skyrocketing in our neighboring British Virgin Islands. This comes as there's a new warning from the U.S. Surgeon General as the number of COVID cases fueled by the highly contagious Delta strain continues to surge in the nation, too. Hospitals in some of the hardest hit areas are stretched to their limits, with doctors warning things could get much worse. Our USVI News' Haley Potter reports.
Summer was supposed to provide a break from the pandemic, but there's been no vacation from COVID-19 thanks to a new wave of infections fueled by the highly contagious Delta variant.
It spreads more easily, so it's going to find those pockets in each community where people aren't vaccinated, and it's going to do a lot of damage.
The 5 states with the biggest 2-week jump in cases per capita all have lower vaccination rates. Nationwide, the number of Americans getting the vaccine continues to drop, down 54% last week, with the number of new cases over the last 3 weeks doubling daily.
Anytime you're in the midst of a global pandemic, an increase in cases, hospitalizations, or deaths certainly is a sign that we're not moving in the right direction.
The dangers of health misinformation.
Thursday afternoon, the Surgeon General issuing an advisory warning against what he calls misinformation about the virus and the vaccine.
Health misinformation has led people to resist wearing masks in high-risk settings. It's led them to turn down proven treatments and to choose not to get vaccinated. This has led to avoidable illnesses and death.
Doctors continuing to stress the data proves vaccines are the best weapon against the virus and this new surge.
Without more people vaccinated, we run this risk of allowing the virus to continue to mutate and to change.
And continue to spread. Haley Potter, USVI News.
So the optimism medical experts once had in the battle against COVID-19 is starting to fade with those new cases on the rise and more people winding up in the hospital. And experts say almost all of them are unvaccinated.
He was with me one day and gone the next.
Rob Tersdig, a husband, a father. He was 46 years old, healthy, and had no underlying conditions. But last month, he died from COVID-19.
Rob thought that he was invincible.
And he never got vaccinated.
Rob's wish was to share his story.
It's a story becoming all too familiar around the country and here in the territory. At last check, 12 people in St. Croix and St. Thomas were hospitalized from COVID-19. And hospitalizations are skyrocketing in several states. You can see those in red and dark red. The common denominator?
99+% of people in the hospital with COVID right now are unvaccinated.
And the more contagious Delta variant now accounts for nearly 60% of new infections in the U.S.
The vaccines we've got right now, the Moderna, the Pfizer, the J&J, are very effective at protecting against this Delta variant. Unvaccinated people going into hospital and dying, vaccinated people essentially not.
But right now, a little more than 56% of people who can get vaccinated are fully vaccinated. Rob regretted not being one of them.
Rob looked at me and said, "Get the kids vaccinated right away. I don't ever want to see them like this." So the kids got their first shot the next day.
Students from across the territory are discovering their love for marine life during the VI's Youth Ocean Explorers Summer Program. It's a hands-on program that exposes kids to geosciences. Our USVI News' Ali Bourne-Vanek had the chance to speak with a few students and instructors.
These Virgin Islands students are getting a head start in all things marine life, and it's a hands-on experience. Some want to be certified in scuba diving.
We have an instructor, and we had to go through a bunch of stuff like resetting it and setting it back, and we had to learn about all the different equipment there is into it. I keep forgetting the names of it because it's so hard, but man, it's worth it.
Students are living the dream right here at home. It's the Youth Ocean Explorers Summer Program, bringing together about a dozen VI students across the territory. It's a 4-week hybrid program due to COVID. Several educational workshops happen online, and a few days a week, students are out here learning straight from the source.
I wish growing up I had opportunities like this. I'm grateful for the National Park Service. I was a Youth Conservation Corps student, and so through that opportunity I was able to get introduced to marine environmental science concepts. But I think now through YOE we're able to do that for a lot more students and at a younger age.
The idea is to get more local Virgin Islands youth exposed to the geosciences. So that's the marine and environmental sciences. And it's really important because it's time to get more people of color in STEM, especially in the geosciences, which is the probably least diverse area of STEM. And so we really want to get them from this age where it's middle school, high school, sometimes elementary, when they're still young and have that sense of wonder and exploration, and we can really show them, these careers exist, and not only do they exist, but you can do them too. And there are people out there who look like you, and you can also pave the way for more people of color in the future.
Bridging the gap and helping students get a head start into the marine science field is what motivates and excites these students.
It's fun, and if you do something that you like, it doesn't feel like work at all. So if I do this, I honestly don't have to work for a day in my life.
Well, actually, I'm having a lot of fun, and from my great experience, actually learned a lot about protecting sea life and protecting the animals.
It is so rewarding. I mean, at the beginning of the program, we were talking about different types of marine invertebrates, and to actually see the students now, in week 2 of the program, and they're able to identify different types of fish when we're out snorkeling, and they can identify octopi when we're out swimming. I mean, those are the types of experiences that I'm so grateful that this program is able to provide. I mean, even if one student out of this entire program can become a marine scientist, I think we've done a good job.
And advice for students who would like to join the next Youth Ocean Explorers program?
It's a lot of work, trust me. But man, it's really worth it and it's really fun. So I say you go for it.
In St. Thomas, Ali Born-Vinak, USVI News.
What a wonderful program, and I really love that kid's advice. If you're doing what you love, you never have to work a day in your life, right? On to news out of Washington, D.C. now. If you have any kids, you might want to check your bank accounts. The child tax credit is starting to get doled out to Americans. Starting Thursday, the IRS started sending out hundreds of dollars a month as an economic stimulus. Our Washington correspondent Matt Knadler explains how long this will last.
Let's say you're a family of 4 with 2 little ones under the age of 18. You could receive an additional $500 to $600 per month from the IRS starting today. That's because of the expanded child tax credit included in the COVID relief package President Biden signed in March.
This has the potential to reduce child poverty in the same way that the Social Security reduced poverty for the elderly.
The credit now covers 2 age ranges. It will go from $2,000 to $3,600 for children under age 6 and up to $3,000 for children ages 6 to 17. The Treasury Department will send out advance payments every month through December. Parents will receive the remaining half of their credit when they file their 2021 tax returns. Lawmakers hope it will serve as an economic stimulus for families still recovering from the pandemic,
which could help us cut child poverty by as much as 45%. This is the largest anti-poverty measure in decades.
But if you don't see the money in your bank account today, don't panic just yet. Officials from the IRS tell us there is still a backlog of 2020 tax refunds and even stimulus checks to process.
We're still under certain health protocols due to COVID, so we're doing the best that we can with what we can and what we're legally allowed to, but there are some delays.
The Treasury Department and IRS say they sent out $15 billion worth of payments, reaching more than 60 million children in this first round. The money can be used for several things: housing, food, childcare, and more. And there is no limit to how many children can receive the benefit. Now, we'll have more information, including details on how to receive the tax credit, even if you weren't required to file taxes in 2020. All of that information over on our website. In Washington, Matt Knadler reporting.